Oh,
something?
hi everybody. It's your big homie here, Sean. Mike will be here in a minute. I have no idea what happened to the intro, but my intro and outro had disappeared. So they were there a few minutes ago, but they're gone now. As you can see, Mike's not here. He'll be here in just a few. He got called in for his work. So he should be on right around 8:30 or so. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Uh, we have an amazing guest lined up for tonight. As you see, we have Josh and Alicia from Herpin Harbins. Welcome to the show, y'all. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. We've been working on the building really hard the last couple of weeks, trying to get it planned so that next weekend we're going down to Alabama and we're basically bringing all the rest of the rodents back up. And so trying to get that rodent room finished out. And we'll be able to start this area, building out ourselves the interior.
Yeah, so yeah, you seem to be cutting in and out really bad right now. This is just a great day for everybody, huh? Oh man. Yeah, definitely bad connection. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah, our connection. We can hear parts of you, but we can't. Yeah, we can't hear a lot of what you're saying. So I'm not sure. We're trying even another.
Okay.
I'm not sure. We're trying even.
Yeah, and I'm getting a long delay.
We're in the back.
Oops.
Yeah, I just put you on stage right now. You've been on stage for about a minute or so. Hold on, let me try and bring it back up. Maybe it's just having a glitch moment. And boom. Hello.
Yeah, hang on. Our camera's turned off.
This is all turned. We don't have this all plugged in.
We're good. We're just going to use the laptop camera for now.
Babe, it's not hooked into there.
It's not.
Okay. He can't hear us because.
But there's microphones.
Okay.
There's a camera.
All right. So we'll get those mics for them while they're getting that situated. So what's going on, homie? Sorry about the long delay. Things happen all the time. We have the Harbins on to talk about Hognose. I'm actually really excited to talk about Hognose and get into that. But it's just shit happens, I guess. While they're having their difficulties, I'm just going to go ahead and run some commercials and get them out the way.
Operation Deeds, Not Words 2 is dedicated to empowering and uplifting disabled veterans and first responders through unwavering support, meaningful resources, and real opportunities that honor their service and sacrifice. Our mission is to build a thriving, impactful organization driven by the shared vision, commitment, and accountability of our team, because when we work together, there is no ceiling on what we can accomplish.
We are equally committed to the growth of our team members, actively encouraging them to expand their voices, followings, and businesses as essential pillars of our mission. Being part of Operation Deeds, Not Words reflects great credit upon our members, uniting communities in the Fat Man Nation. Green Line morphs under a shared purpose rooted in service, resilience, and action-driven impact. Deeds, not words.
ReptileAds.com is the modern marketplace for buying and selling reptiles, amphibians, and exotic pets. Built by Purple Turtle Technologies, we're creating the most trusted platform in the industry. Join thousands of breeders and collectors on the most trusted reptile marketplace. List your animals, connect with buyers, and grow your business with Reptile Ads. Enjoy our easy access to stores as well as a genetic calculator for your convenience. Stop by and check us out today.
Introducing the Python Portal, a ball python breeder who works on snow and true ghost combos as well as the Tiger Gene.
We also offer many unique custom 3D printed accessories, as well as custom merch, so don't forget to stop by and check us out.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Let's see if we got it now. Hello.
Hang tight, guys. We're
All right.
close.
Can you hear?
Oh,
Can you hear
man.
me?
Oh, that's incredibly awesome. Yes, I can.
Holy crap! It's probably my ancient computer that has decided that it doesn't want to live anymore,
No comment.
and I just can't let go of it. And so then we had backup sorta, and just had to sling it together. So sorry about that, guys.
Thank God for a 2026 RAM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how old my computer is. It's bad.
All right, so since I got y'all here, why don't you kind of explain to the homies out here, what got y'all into Hognose? How'd y'all get started with that?
It's Tom Harbin.
Yeah,
he was like for a lot of people like the snake dealer of the world, and got a lot of people into it. And so we actually went to a show in Chattanooga. That's where his brother and family lived at the time, and we went to just go hang out with him because Tom was vending, and I'd had corn snakes, and he'd had a lot of different random things through his years, and ended up falling in love with this little toffee belly hognose that Tom had. And so I ended up taking it home, and we still have that cranky little animal that likes to hiss at me every time I open his enclosure. But that's what started the fire, and it went kind of crazy after that. We just started, I say it was really my fault. I started just buying hognoses left and right. And
So before we got into the snakes, Alicia used to show dogs, and so we'd run around and do AKC dog shows. So the whole like breeding thing, trying to make something better, and generation of improvement, well, that bug was already in us. And when we saw the snakes, we're like, oh, these don't bark. You don't have to give them any shots. Like, this is way easier.
Way easier. Oh, I could pick them up.
That's funny. So,
but that started the fire, and we actually didn't even get into ball pythons until probably about at least 2 or 3 years after we had hognoses. So
yeah.
Okay, so you guys do hognose and ball pythons,
and corn snakes,
and corn snakes.
We just added a fourth species, kind of by accident.
We've got a crested gecko pair from his brother who was breeding them for years, and Tom had gotten a lily white male for Ben several years ago, and then Sarah, Josh's and Ben's mom, had actually got a red harlequin female even longer before that. So I couldn't let Ben sell those, and so I decided, well, I'll just bring that pair home. And
they were like heirloom geckos. We thought we should hang on to
family
those.
geckos, and so now we have geckos, and they apparently are going to have, eggs after eggs after eggs, which that's fine,
You're good with it, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Somebody was like, oh, they can have like 20 eggs in a year. I'm like, do you understand how many one hognose female has at one time? I said 20 in a year. I think we'll be all right.
And spread out month to month.
Yeah, like it's 2 every month. That's awesome.
Actually, that kind of led into a question I was going to ask you. So, there's a lot of folks that watch the show that are ball python breeders. So explain the differences between a ball python and a hognose. So, if somebody didn't know anything about it, could kind of know what's going on here.
There is enough difference that, their humidity need is much lower. Their enclosure space is obviously much lower. Males are significantly smaller. Usually the males are only like a foot to a foot and a half long, where females are about 3 feet long. We only ever feed mice in hognoses. Every once in a while, I'll give a rat fuzzy to a rebuilding female just to kind of give her some power, but I don't give rats to them. They're a little too fatty for hognose species, and we can see fatty liver disease. We typically keep them on aspen, but I will keep them on dry cocoa block, and I will keep them on dry cypress also, or drier cypress. They breed seasonally, typically. Now, seasonally is kind of an open term on that. It's more of like a triggered type breeding with brumation. So we do brumate them in 52 degrees or even a little lower.
That's nice, because 2 to 3 months out of the year, we stick them in a wine cooler and they're just checked out for a while.
We're done for a while. So that triggers, that's kind of handy. That triggers ovulation in the females instead of us kind of like a ball python. We're waiting till she goes, maybe we're pairing or doing those kind of things to get her primed to get her up to that point. But with a hognose female, it's typically that brumation trigger, and then we start breeding. They can have.
You have to brumate the male as well.
Yeah, we typically do. It's supposed to help with their sperm count. Although I have used males that weren't brumated that still produced viable eggs, and so it's not necessarily a have to type thing. We haven't until this year. We've always just brumated just the breeding animals, but this last year we brumated everything. Every single hognose in this house went into brumation. I needed a freaking break. And I was like, I am tired. And the babies only went down for 5 weeks. So it wasn't long. It was just basically after the last show and then before the shows in January. But we weren't going to be shipping. So, it's holidays and stuff. And I've talked to several hognose breeders that do that on routine anyway. And I did see an increase in their appetite, even coming out of brumation. So that kind of triggered some of the slower eaters into that. I'm trying to think of any other major.
So what would the temps and stuff be like for your brumation?
52 average is kind of where I try to keep them at. My coolers sometimes will get down into the 40s, and sometimes they'll fluctuate up into the higher 50s. I don't want to keep them in the 60s or 70s. That's a little too warm. They'll still be active. And I know some people that will they'll have outdoor facilities that just have a heater that turns on, and they'll have frozen water in their bowls. And I mean, that's how cold it gets. But we
don't do that. That's some buddies up in Ohio that they just chuck them outside in the shed.
In the shed, and they're good to go. And they do.
It depends on where you live too. I mean, like I'm out here in Missouri, man. You could literally chuck them out back, and
they'd be fine.
I mean,
that's the right.
You could chuck them in the garage, be a little bit safer option, but you could just chuck them out back. I mean, they're native here for the most part.
They would be probably absolutely fine as long as they were able to burrow into something to stay warm. That's the biggest thing is when you see them in the coolers, when I still have it like in the higher 50s or 60s, I'm dropping it down. You'll see them up on top of their cocoa block. But then when I get it down into the low 50s or even it drops into the 40s, they're burrowed down. It's like they know that's what they're supposed to do, which is pretty cool. I guess the other biggest difference is they can double clutch, and most of ours double clutch. And so what they'll do is they'll ovulate. We pair every week on hognoses until they go into like a pre-lay shed. And then their pre-lay shed.
Boy, them boys is putting in work.
And that's the other big thing. We don't use like one boy for a bunch of girls. Like the most we will share a male out is between 3 females, and that's pushing it. So we have a closer to 1-to-1 ratio with the hognoses versus the ball pythons, which is a much heavier female ratio in the ball pythons. And so that's a huge difference is you still need a lot of males, way more than people realize when they're getting into hognoses, but they'll have, we've had clutches as small as like 8. That's a small clutch for a hognose. And we've had them up to 22. And I know that there's people that have had 30 in one clutch. Then they go into a double clutch anywhere from 5 to like 7 weeks afterwards. And they'll have another 12, 13, 15, 18. They'll have a ton. So you could have easily 30 plus babies from one female in just a couple of months. So that's a big difference.
Hey, oh boy, that's huge difference. I mean, weekly pairing to like monthly pairing, that's huge too.
Yeah.
Like my boy would be ran into the dirt dead right
Yeah.
now if I ran
No,
him weekly.
It's funny when after you pair the male hognose, you pull them out with like a finger. They're just dripped over
they're
like
just
a wet
noodle.
noodle.
They just hang there.
They are
I'm
spent.
like, okay, you probably got something done. That's the other thing. You'll catch your ball pythons, locked for a day or 2 or 3 in some cases. We're lucky if we see a lock and a hognose, and if we do see a lock, it may only be like an hour or so, and then they're unlocked.
It's
and
quick.
So it's very, very fast, and it's very secretive. The other thing is the girls will eat the males. I've actually already had to pull a male out of a girl this year. I knew she's kind of an intense snake, and this was kind of a pivotal male. And I went back and checked on him about 5 minutes later, and he's halfway down her gullet, and he's just looking at me.
Can you imagine that? Like your first date with a lady, like you had a good dinner.
What?
Small you hole. But I was able to. I just push on her jaws, and she regurgitated him, and she was good to go after that. He was
he
fine.
alive?
He was fine.
Yeah.
They usually swallow tail first.
Oh my god.
It's exciting breeding hogs.
It's an adrenaline rush for probably about 2 months, because the girls would turn around and eat their own eggs too. So you have to be really on top of when they lay. And
so there's a debate in the hognose world of whether or not you should disturb the female and pull the eggs. If I look in there and she's got 10 out, I'm going to grab them.
We're getting those eggs out.
And then she'll lay the next on her own, but then sometimes they will turn around and eat them. So you have to kind of grab what you can.
We've done it where we haven't disturbed them, and they've still turned around and ate their entire clutch. So I do understand the premise of disturbing a female that's in that kind of oxytocin like trance. And if you woke her up, and then she's kind of at that point, she's hungry. So she's running around her little container, and then, oh, boom, they're obligate eaters. And so they just run into this thing. They're like, oh, this looks good enough. I'm going to start eating it. They will eat all the way through laying their eggs. Like they don't stop eating ever.
Yeah.
And I've fed them the morning that they've laid eggs, and fed them after they laid eggs. I mean, they just eat constantly. So
you said that you feed mice, right? To your hogs?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're eating out in the wild, or what's their type of diet? Because they are actually rear-fanged venomous, right?
Yeah. They're eating probably more amphibians, and then even small lizards in the wild. And so I'm sure if they ran across the right, rodent, they would eat it. And they say there's data that they do eat mammals. They'd have to be pretty small, and it would be heck of a fight on a live because they don't constrict. They just hold on for dear life and swallow them whole. And
they're little pit bulls. I've seen that.
They're rough, man. I've been latched onto.
When they go to work.
Yeah, they know how to get something down too. And you think, oh, you're not gonna be able to get that down, and they'll shove it right into their little throat and
right down their gullet.
Yeah, right down their gullet. Now, Westerns, I think you could probably say a mixed bag of stuff, and we both believe, and I think there's a lot of other breeders that believe they're probably eating minnows and fish and like tadpoles and stuff off the side of because they're Western plains, on the banks of like those little swamps and stuff like that. Because these guys will leap out of their enclosure, their little rack, and grab on with their tail almost prehensile and
they'll just hang on the edge, and then they're looking around.
And they're doing this, and I'm like,
we've seen a lot of them do that. So it's a
really
behavior.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
They think that they're probably hanging off cattails and like brush around the edge of waterways, and they're grabbing fish. And we've actually fed live rosy, what are those things called? Rosy barbs, those little tiny ones. For like poor eaters, we were like, oh, let's just see what would happen. And these things would suck those fish down immediately. So to me, there's got to be some kind of trigger of them wanting to eat tadpoles and fish and stuff like that on the edge of the water. And they don't mind.
It smells good to them too, though.
Maybe.
And they don't mind going under the water. I've seen them take stuff under the water with them. So
yeah. Hey, Big Mike wants to know what's your favorite clutch of hognose this year that you're looking forward to hatch?
I've paired so many random things this year.
I want to hit some storm clouds. We only made 2 last year.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite morph.
Yeah. That's the one that was going down the
storm
gullet.
Cloud?
So storm cloud is a xanthic and sable together. And so when they hatch out, they're black and blue. and they keep this steel blue gray color through their entire life. They're absolutely
They
fabulous.
look awesome.
You don't happen to have one of those right
Yeah, I
now,
can go
would
get
you?
one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Find it faster
Yeah.
than I can.
I know where a couple are. I can actually get the one that almost got swallowed.
Don't forget, y'all, go ahead and drop some questions for our guests in the comments right there. We'd love to hear what you got to ask, because this is why we're breaking it down, man. I'm learning about hognoses. I don't know nothing about them. I know they rear fanged venomous, and I've been bit by one, and it did absolutely nothing but kind of tickled my finger. It's a
So-
little startling at first, right? And you're like, oh,
It is. The fangs, they're like maybe a millimeter or two long, and they're in the back, like where our molars are. But their
Yeah.
venom is not in the fang. The venom's in a gland beside the salivary gland, and it leaks into their saliva. So the more they chew on you, actually, when they bite, they don't bite and constrict. They just bite and grab a hold, and they'll walk up on you with each side of their mouth. So you're getting punctured every time. You're getting poked, kind of like a tattoo. So the longer you get tattooed by their venom, the worse the reaction's probably going to be. So the sooner you get them off, the better. So if you look at our business cards at the snake shows, they're plastic, and it's so you can like put the card up under their mouth and pop them loose. So we made our business card a tool.
what? Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Of course, you're never going to be able to see the
let me
color
give you
on
this
this
real quick.
animal unless you're in person, but he is, I don't want it zooming in
Oh
on me. I want it zooming
God.
on a, come on, snake.
Yeah, face out.
Get our faces out.
Pull it back. There you
Oh.
But
You
very,
can
very,
see, you can see that there's some coloration going
Yeah.
on there. I am colorblind, but that's really an amazing animal
yeah,
from
he's
what I'm
so
looking at.
dark. If you go on our Instagram, there's a couple of posts that we've done with storm cloud stuff because it is one of our favorites.
Is that the
and-
naughty girl you said was trying to eat her
No,
boyfriend?
this is a boy. This
He
is
got-
Oh,
you got it.
that was
Yeah,
the
this
boy
is a
that was
boy.
down the gullet?
yeah.
Hey, bro, you're a survivor.
And then
He's
he got
seen
put in
things,
with
man.
another girl, and then he had her locked immediately. Like, okay, this is my chick. She's not trying to eat me. And
Oh, so
so
you didn't have no PTSD moments from being eaten
these
alive.
boys,
They
well,
get right
and
back.
like they just don't seem to care. And it's kind of funny when they're getting swallowed. They're just looking at you like, this is what's happening to me
They're not
today.
panicked or running.
Hey,
Like,
Mom, you
Yeah,
wanna?
I guess he doesn't got arms to push out though, which is unfortunate. So it's like, I can't get out of here. And of course, the females they're 3 times bigger than this. Like this is a normal male, and the females are huge. And so it doesn't take much for those females just to snag them and just start swallowing them. And so,
Oh my God.
but
Do
these
we
are.
see one in comparison? A
Yeah,
female
I'll go
next
find
to a
somebody
male?
that won't eat my hand off. Let me see, because they'll eat me too.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Like
Keep you on your
that's
toes.
a pretty good sized snake right there. I mean, like
Yeah,
what?
the boys get about as big as your thumb, roughly, and they vary a little bit, but like she said, a foot and a half. So
Have you ever tried those little reptile sausage things for them?
yes, actually, we met them. We met that family at Tinley this year, and their son bought a hognose from us, and we said, "Wait till you get home to feed it." And the next day, the kid comes to us and says, "I fed it Reptilinks last night, and it ate them." So he was
Really?
excited. So
That's
those
cool,
are-
man.
yeah, they're cool, and it's a great meal because it's got amphibians in it, so it's more natural.
It's more
diet.
natural towards their diet then. That's awesome.
So we're going to get some of those from them and feed them to the females after they lay as kind of like a recovery supplement.
Yeah. Let's get into these comments while we're waiting.
Yeah, yeah.
Dickie, we appreciate you, man, being number 1 over there, Dickie Foster. Thanks, Dickie. Oh, hey, he responded to the pinned comment to Hurt, Virginia. That's what's up, man. Shout out to Hurt, Virginia. We got a homie in Hurt, Virginia.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, how's that shed coming along, man?
Oh, it's coming along good. Well, I mean, we contracted. We got quotes from some contractors, and they kept wanting to make it into like a commercial thing. And after looking at the quotes, like, no, we're just going to do it our way, because you can't go to somebody and say, "I want a snake barn." They don't know what that should look like. So now
No.
we're building it out how we want to. It's going slower, but we're saving a ton of money, and it's coming along good. It's going to be pretty custom when we get done.
So this is a pretty average size female. Let's see if you can get your
Oh.
face.
What if we can pull the light off?
That looks like my ball python males.
Yeah. So she's, she's pretty thick. She's a snow, actually. I don't know if I can there. You can almost see a little bit of the pinks and stuff in her.
Yeah,
Turn
that's
that
a
light
type
off
of
on this thing.
albinism. Yeah, the light is
Yeah,
really
so
getting
she
after it.
is double recessive. Turn that life bat off,
There we
babe.
go.
Turn
Oh
that off.
man,
So if you
There we
can
go.
see that she's got lots of pinks in her. So it's the same thing as like snow and ball python. So she's axanthic and albino. And but you can see she's an average size female. We've got some that are bigger and some that are smaller, but you can see how much bigger she is.
I mean,
yeah,
she's 3 times as big as that boy,
absolutely.
so swallowing him would be no big deal.
And I'm pretty sure last season she had 18 eggs in her first clutch. So, and she'll
Wow.
probably do something similar at
Now,
this point.
if somebody was coming along to a show and wanted to buy one of these as a pet, as like a first time pet, what would you? I
Josh, you
mean,
start
what
that.
would you say to them? First of all, I mean,
get a lot
maybe
of
they're an
that.
experienced snake keeper, but they've not dipped into hog noses yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It helps if they've already had like corn snakes or ball pythons. We can kind of transition into the differences. But if they're starting
Yeah.
from like ground zero, we get a care sheet out and talk them through it and explain the husbandry. And we also show them a example, like this is what the bedding looks like. This is what a heater would look like. Because I know we throw around a lot of jargon as keepers, like we know what a thermal gradient is and all that stuff. So we kind of talk them through that and teach them. But we do always bring up that they're venomous. We always highlight that so people know. And then we, I don't know, we talked it through it. We've actually talked a few people out of it because we're like, this isn't the pet for you.
I've done that before with ball pythons, man. I'm not afraid to talk someone out of it. Like,
Yeah.
hey, no. Like I had a customer who wanted to put a baby ball python in a 75-gallon enclosure. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna stress that animal out if
Freak
you
out.
put it in that
And
thing.
that's our biggest thing is like these people want to put them in 10, 20, 30 gallon enclosures. What am I
Yeah.
doing?
I'm lining you up with the logo.
Oh, looks like, oh gosh. It's like, what is happening? But we, when you start selling these babies and they're 10 to 20 grams, like they don't need to be in a 10 gallon. They don't need to be in a 20 gallon for sure. So we make little kits, little 6-quart kits for those guys.
That's the number one thing people screw up is they go put them in like a 40-gallon aquarium with too many. It's too big. So
Yeah.
the guys at home, they're in like a small shoebox thing.
Would a ARS rack work like a hatchling tub or something?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
basically what they're in? If you
So
wanted to do,
we actually use a brand called JPM Reptilia, which is a little sandwich box style, 7-inch by 2 inches by 5 inches. We grow them
Okay.
up in that, but I know a lot of people that use one of the, I think it's one of the, which one is it? One of the VEs that's like a Matchbox VE, that very small brand. It's like a little long cigar type
It's like
style.
a pencil. I think I got a
Pencil tub. But I know people that will start them off in just a 10 series, but now those mini 10s would
Those
be
are
perfect. That may be still a little big for a baby, but they'll adjust, in that mini 10, and then you can keep them in a mini 10 for the first year easily.
yeah.
This has been bit a lot more than me. I saw that question pop up.
Oh,
I've gotten tagged once, but she feeds more than I do. So
yeah. I mean, and I pluck them off pretty fast. Like I get them off immediately, and so I don't have any issues with it. I think
on
Mike,
top of it.
yeah. Mike was asking about the weights and stuff. So with the females, we like them to be at least like 3.5 years before we start pairing them. And I like them to be over 200. Like 220 is kind of almost my baseline, but a lot of them are closer to 250 before they get there. But I've seen, unfortunately, some ball python breeders that get into it and they power feed these snakes, and they can get to 250 in their second year, but they're not necessarily like
Ready?
their ovaries are not mature. And we see a ton of egg binding in this species, a ton. And a lot of times it's due to excessive fat composition and poor time of maturity for them to have like the right oviduct process.
they weigh a lot, but they're not mature.
They're not mature, physically. So that's why we breed ours a little bit later. So we hold on to now our males, we'll breed them at 18 months. And so, I mean, they
top out quicker.
Yeah. I mean, our biggest adult male is 180 grams. That's huge, huge for a male. And we have male breeders. Yeah. He's gigantic. He's a gigantic male. And then we've got most of our males run in the 70 to 100 gram range, but we have males that are 50 to 60 grams that are power breeders, like just don't even like hold back with their 300 gram girlfriends. It's quite funny to watch when they're locked up.
Mike got another question. He says, what is usually the very first meal for a baby hoggy?
So
he said hots, but he's blind, so I'm gonna say
super
that's
tiny
okay.
hots. And so if they're under 6 grams, I'll actually just cut the pinky head off and they'll just get a pinky head. If they're over 6 grams, they'll get a red hot, which is usually, around just under 1 gram. So pinky heads to hot, true red hots that are teeny.
Yeah, if I work in the rodent colony and I see a mouse like actively birthing, I'll go ahead and grab half of those babies. I want them as small as possible. Like they call them micros also.
The micros cost more if you order them too than just a regular day old pinky. So we try to make sure we produce enough.
That's fire. Well, mice, man, that things stink, man. I had mice, dude. Oh God, they stink.
They do. If you don't stay after them, it gets out of control. But when I was a little kid, like from age, I don't know, probably 12, I raised dad's rodents for him.
Yeah.
And so he put me to work. So it's free labor. I don't blame him. I do the same thing. But I've been doing it my whole life.
So when it comes to breeding hognoses, what separates someone just pairing snakes from someone that's actually building a project?
Ooh.
So the other thing that's different with hognoses versus ball pythons is we have a lot of polygenics. We have genes that they're not simple recessive, they're not dominant or incomplete dominant, but they're color enhancing genes like red line, purple line, lemon ghost. There's certain things that color enhance these animals. And so like that snow that I showed earlier, she's not just a regular snow. She's a purple line snow. And so when you see her in person, her pinks are much brighter, where there's a lot of snows out there that are just washed out in white. And so that's the biggest thing is making sure you're stacking genes to enhance the coloration of those animals and not just putting two genes together just because they make that thing out there. So our storm clouds stand out because we have a really crisp axanthic line that's behind it. But the sables that we're using are heavily dark pigmented sables. And so when we see other storm clouds that are still very pretty, we see that the storm clouds from this line are just more saturated and just better color and more staying color. And just like Tom, he was very focused in the sunburst, and sunburst is albino and sable. And he had red line and extreme red lines of albino. So these sunbursts are just freaking crazy, man. They are so dark orange and reds. You're just kind of blown away when you see them next to another one.
The polygenics can be a big booster. Like if you can enhance the red and the intensity of the redness on the base layers, then you put the other morphs on top of it, and it adds to be a much better animal.
So that
kind of like gecko breeding, yeah.
Yes, yes,
and
gecko breeding with some recessive genes. Because there's not much in geckos.
There's like 4.
Yeah, if that, like Lily White and Lily's.
Hey, shout out to Benji. That's our homie all the way from New Zealand. Rock out, homie. He's been on the show 2 or 3 times commenting. I bet it's like buck ass early in the morning right now.
It's got to be super early.
Appreciate you, Benji. You're a homie for life. Yeah, man. So all right, Mike did have a question here. See, he get it while he's on his way home. Is there a big variation in the humidity from hognoses versus the ball pythons?
They are like, we keep them in the same room for the most part, but I do keep these guys on drier substrate. I don't mind if their humidity goes up a little bit, but I don't want them staying I don't want them staying at 60% or 55%. I don't want them staying humid because these guys are colubrids. If y'all know how ball pythons make nice little dog turds, Colubrids don't do that. It's like this blob of goo schmear, almost like a bird poo or something. And if you have that kind of smeared in there with some moisture, it's just so gross, and it doesn't dry out. And so
that's why we keep them on aspen chip. So it's like the little micro squares, and it kind of clumps like cat litter, so you can kind of pick up the little piles. But
it's so much easier.
Yeah,
so.
their poo is gross.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hey, we need to find a way to get Benji to America. He's never seen a snake. He lives on an island where snakes don't exist.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, he needs to get out.
One of the only places in the world. There's another place, I do believe. But
Hawaii doesn't have any snakes.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawaii don't have any snakes. Yeah. That's wild.
Isn't that amazing?
As big as New Zealand is, that's amazing. They don't have anything snakes.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, it's not as big as
not
Australia.
Cool. Yeah.
And they don't have very good snakes there. I don't know if I would want to share the snakes with Australia.
Hey, I would have been telling them neighbors up north, keep them, mate. We don't need them down here.
I like my little wimpy copperheads. That's good enough.
Yeah,
there you go. Oh, man. All right. So let's see. I got some more questions here. How do y'all see the hognose market right now? And are we early, late, or at the right? Are we in the sweet spot right now with your guys' market?
So it's really stable right now. The sweet spot was 3-4 years ago. I mean, we couldn't keep inventory. Like, it was gone immediately. We still have some inventory, but it goes much faster than our ball python animals. And so, and there's still a huge variety of people. Like, there's so many newer people getting hognoses. There are people that it's their first pet with heavy instructions, and they've watched Snake Discovery to the nth degree. So we're pretty confident that they can handle it. But like our normals, we're still selling normals on sale for $150. And so online, they're usually $180. And so I think that tells you that we're not dealing with like low end market at this point still, which is good.
Right. That is a good thing. I mean, I think part of the whole ball python things is it just got way too flooded, way too fast, and everybody all had the same stuff at the same time. And that could be bad for a lot of folks. Yeah. I think another thing that kind of keeps people from just jumping into like hoggies is like me in Missouri, I have to go get a permit for it. I mean, hey, you know what? It's like 20, it might be $30 now. I don't know what it is yet. But I mean, a lot of people that'll just deter them because they're lazy. I don't want to go get a license for them.
Well,
Illinois is the same way. When we vend Tinley, we have a lot of people that want to buy them. We ask them if they have their permit, and they ask, what are you talking about? So Illinois' permit is free, but it takes like a month to get it. So if you come to the show, you got to apply and then wait a month, and then we ship them a snake.
We're actually
what happens if you're from out of state? Let's say
it doesn't matter. It's if you live within the state.
If you're a
resident, you have to have. But like, if there's a lot of Indiana people that come over, and once they say, hey, they've got the Indiana, their driver's license, we're like, okay, you're cool. We don't have to do anything. We just report to Illinois because we have a permit to go into Illinois to sell them. And so then we just report when we get back from Tinley what we placed in out of state and what we placed in state.
It's kind of gotten that way at snake shows now. You have to ask everybody, like, hey, where are you from? Because we've got species.
Yeah, it really has.
Like Georgia, we can't sell corn snakes.
Can't sell corn snakes. Can't take corn snakes at all into Georgia. And so, really? But like Colorado just opened up. Colorado was a pretty strict state for hognoses. And now I think there's possession ability there.
Was it March 1st or April 1st?
Maybe it's May 1st. I can't remember. It's happening very soon. And then Illinois was for the longest, they could only have one. Now they open it up to like 8. And then now they have a whole different license, I think, if people in Illinois want to actually breed them and propagate them. So they're starting to kind of open that up. But again, you have to kind of know all those states and where they can go and where they can't go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's kind of godsend for people who are doing hoggies. You know what I mean? Like, hey, not everybody needs to do it. You know, everybody and their brother got on the ball pythons, and that thing just sunk the ship damn near. It'll come back. Like all markets, man. They have their ups and they have their downs. Everybody had
at
that up when
shows,
2021 hit, and everybody's on that coronavirus shit.
Kind of they grabbed into it and kind of, yeah, it
Yep.
got kind of skyrocketed. But
Yep.
we do still, like, we go to enough shows that, and we do, multi-species. I mean, we still see plenty of ball pythons selling. It's just a different
yeah.
market than it was three years ago. So we just have to
Yeah.
kind of be prepared for that.
Yep, absolutely. So, let's see. I got a couple more. Here we go. All right. So this is kind of just a little personality question, if y'all don't mind. So be real. What's the funniest or most dramatic hognose moment y'all have had? Because we know they be acting up.
they have a special talent, a special skill that humans don't have.
Besides
You
the
will
tail thing,
you'll see them in their tub. They'll like they'll stand up, cobra up, get like, and then you'll see this like their tail kind of start to curl a certain way, and they'll whip their tail and poo on you.
Sling right in your face too.
It's like
They
a
know
slingshot.
where your eyes are, and they can fling their musk
No.
into your eyes. And I know this because it's happened to me a few times. And so,
clip it.
it is so awful. It stinks. It's terrible. But that's probably one of those things I'm like, when they do it, I'm like, and I had a snake I was trying to clean at the show this last weekend. And every time I got it out, he would do it. I could see him doing it. And then all of a sudden he slung it all over the table. And this thing ain't but bigger than a worm. And he had his musk slung everywhere. And this poor lady was just standing there like, I'm like, yeah, aren't they cute? They're so delightful.
Well, a few shows ago, you let one bite you
I did.
to show people how to get it off of her finger.
Yeah.
And that was
With
kind
your
of
guys' plastic business cards.
Yeah,
Yep.
popped it right off. But the people were looking at 3 different females, and I was getting them out just because they wanted to see what the temperament is. And I didn't have it marked. Like, one of these I know is going to eat my hand off. And the first couple are like, okay, this is cool. And then this other one, I could see her open her mouth doing it. I said, do you see her doing that? She's getting ready to bite me. And they're like, oh, and I said, it's no big deal. So then I went to let her do it. And then instead of her grabbing my finger like I wanted her to, she came over and like pinched my old lady's skin. And so then she's cranked down on my skin. I'm having to pluck her off. And it's like, and I was bleeding. I was just
On the
bleeding.
old
I was like,
lady's
can you
skin.
please get me a Band-Aid?
but we do it, and it's like no big deal, and we don't freak out. We're going to show people like this isn't a big deal. We can get the animal off of us. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
We're going to survive. It's not that big a deal, but it's getting them off of it because you can have a local inflammatory reaction to the venom if they're in there just chewing you to pieces. I guess it's probably the biggest thing right now in the industry. There are a lot more hognose people out there, and there's people that are wholesaling hognoses to flippers and stuff like that. Not all bad. Not everybody's a bad flipper, but resellers, I guess I should say. Some of them are good resellers, and some of them are maybe not the greatest, but they're not teaching people about them being rear fang venom.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because you can still have a child get bit and cause a significant reaction on their hand and a big deal. And so that's probably the biggest thing with more and more people getting into the hogs is just them not teaching people that situation, how to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Big Mike wanted to know, with all the animals that you guys have, were there any other species that you'd like to get into that you don't currently have?
Well,
She's had a hankering for I think it's the like leaf tail, one of the leaf tail
it's a
geckos.
leaf tail gecko.
Its eyes are like
them devil
Yeah.
geckos.
Yeah, I like things with weird eyes. Okay, I don't know why.
Oh, I
They're
love
bulge
geckos
and
because of the
weird
eyes.
looking. I get into it pretty heavily, and so that's something I'd like to do. I'd like to just have a lychee just as a pet. I don't really anticipate breeding them. He wants a panther chameleon. We've had a chameleon in the past, and he got old and passed away. But he hopefully he'll get a panther before long. And then the other snake that I would like to keep, at least one, is a file snake.
Yeah.
African file snake. I would like one of those. So
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Not too
It's like
many
we
people-
saw them all the time when we first got into this hobby, and now I haven't seen one in years.
for a long time. But our goal is once we get out in the building, like the ball pythons will have their room, their giant room, and they're out of the bedroom. And then the hognose will have their room. And then we're going to keep our reptile room here where the corn snakes, we're not going to have a huge corn snake collection. corn snakes and the geckos, and probably those trophy animals that we would like to just keep.
Yeah. Not breed them,
Right.
just have them. Just
have
enjoy them.
Yeah, just something to keep. We do have a Pac-Man frog too. She's like 5 years old now. An albino
cool.
Pac-Man frog. She's pretty cool, man.
She's our
Smashed
pinky.
everything.
Yeah. She's like huge. Like she sits on my hand. When I first got her, she sat like tiny, and now like her blubber hangs off the side. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I was gonna ask. I got sidetracked by the comments. Hold on, guys.
Weird eyes.
So, anyways, yeah, Mike says he won't do spiders or hogs.
Well, that makes sense.
Why won't you do hogs?
Well, you have to visualize
he's
well that
blind.
they're coming in to bite you, because if you can watch them, you can know there's not a strike. It's a
the slowest
slow,
bite ever.
dumb, like, and they look like they're just kind of poking at you, and then all of a sudden you've got them latched on. You can't feel them, really.
What do they
You
got?
can't
Like
feel
the drunken monk style or what?
Yeah.
They're kung fu.
dumb and slow. I don't know
Yeah.
how these things live in the wild. Not well,
'Cause
probably.
they look
'cause
drunk, and maybe some animals don't want to mess with that. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And then they
I do
play
wanna
dead
take-
when you roll up on them.
I want to take a trip and just go hang out and camp and let's find them in the wild and just watch them for a week.
Yeah, see
And
what
we're-
they're doing.
Document like exactly what they're eating and exactly how they're eating, because the way they do it in captivity is just weird. It doesn't seem like it'd be productive.
Yeah.
They're not accurate.
They're
They're not an accurate
I'll
striker.
have the food like in their face, and they'll just go like straight past it and hit my hand. I'm like, okay, so that's the temperature you're looking for is my hand. I don't understand. What have I
They
done?
want that big-
They want big meals. They don't understand that they're attaching to something that's 100 times bigger than them. So
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Tinley earlier, are you guys going to the June one they're doing this year?
well, it's kind of a bad month for us. We have things planned. Plus, when you look at Hognoses, we're really getting low on last year's inventory, and babies won't really start hatching until really at the very probably early June. So they won't even be ready until August.
Yeah.
And so June is just kind of that off month for us. Our ball pythons don't go until the fall, so we won't have much.
It's just a slow spot for us.
Okay. So with that said, are you guys still doing them long trips to Bama? Or are you guys done with that now that you got the building up?
No, we've still got a rodent colony down there. Mom's been taking care of that, and she freezes out a ton of food for us.
Yeah.
But actually, this coming weekend for Easter, we're going to the farm with a big Penske truck with like a lift gate, and we're bringing everything back to Tennessee.
All
So
the racks are coming back.
Mom can officially retire. Then we'll have everything up here.
We
Man,
got
I
to get her
bet
to
Mom's
stop.
finally like, oh,
She's
She
ready.
needs
She's ready.
it. She deserves to not have to deal with that crap anymore. And like there was a point like a couple months ago, we have a camera that basically is on the barn and the house and everything, and we can pull it up at any point and just check on her. And Josh pulled it up, and he's like, well, I guess Mom's out in the barn. And then you see her out there just lugging these tubs, or she's 70 by herself, and she had our jacket on because it was cold, and everything's indoor outdoor there.
She's tough. She's a tough
But
little
I'm
girl.
like, Josh, we have got to get this crap out. She does not need to be doing this crap anymore. And so then we made a really heavy push to start trying to get this rodent room done. And then now it just happens to be, we need to be there for Easter. And we're like, oh, let's make this a
good timing.
really good goal to like, this room is going to be done. We're going to get those out of her hair. Happy
So are
Easter.
you-
You don't have to do rats anymore.
so you're gonna go down in like your POV or whatever, and then come back in the Penske?
I think we're taking the Penske with us, aren't
I
we?
think my brother works for a chemical company. They sell like fertilizers and things like that, and he was able to get us a truck through his company. I'm pretty sure it's a Penske, but I don't know how he pulled it off. But we're gonna pick it up in Chattanooga, drive all the way to Alabama, then drive to Knoxville, unload, and then we're also going to use the truck to scoop up all the animals that are in our garage
Yes.
and carry all that down to the building,
Ooh.
because in between the house and the building is like a gravel drive, and you
And a big
can't.
hill. Like we're not going to
Yeah,
roll those
That ain't
things.
going to roll very good. So it'll actually
Yeah.
be for 2 loads. It'll be to move our stuff from the house to the building, and then the Alabama stuff to the building. So
We cannot wait. Like, I mean, I'm so stoked
bet.
about it. Yeah, so stoked. But that's our big next weekend thing. So we'll
right there.
watch for Instagram. We might eventually put a post on there
Someday.
because we were really crappy about that. It's not our forte.
we're horrible at social media.
Yeah.
We think of what, by the time we think about it, it's like 10 o'clock at night. We're like, oh crap,
Just want to
I
go
should
to
have
bed. I'm
posted
just freaking tired.
earlier.
So where do you guys see yourselves going for the rest of 2026? Guys kind of take a breather now, right? That's almost done and
I think we're in
uh,
we're kind of refocusing the breeding plans with the ball pythons. We've sold off some adults that we've decided aren't part of the breeding program anymore.
We had a lot of redundancy when we took over Dad's collection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because a lot of stuff we had bought was from him, and so we decided which was the better of the combos and get rid of the extra because we had too much to take care of. At one point, we had about 850 animals.
That's a lot.
And that was nuts.
And then so
oh
like
my
then we
God.
also had like our projects that we had purchased into with the ball pythons, and we just kind of put everything on the back burner. And we're like, but we still want to do these projects just because we're doing Tom's projects now that were some of them were really very focused his, and some of them were kind of like joint stuff that we had talked about already. And then I was like, but we still need to do our projects. And so now like I'm starting to reevaluate the pairings and starting, we actually did a big ultrasound thing a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I need to know where these girls are at, if I've missed anybody. And just kind of refocusing that. We're increasing the hognose, kind of more morph combinations. We're blending some polygenics together. So we should hope to have some pretty cool stuff come August, September, and October that we haven't had in the past. And breeding some animals that we've grown up, that we purchased into 3 and 4 years ago, that, okay, it's time for her to go now. And so just watching those guys grow up from babies, that projects that are still real good projects that we bought into with the hog noses. And so I don't know, getting those animals in the building.
That's the big goal. Getting everything
I can't wait.
out of our house, out of Alabama, and in the focus
be
building.
such a weight lifted off your shoulders, right?
It's so huge. This house is, I mean, we literally, like, our master bedroom is just full of racks. We gutted everything in the master bedroom, master bath, and it's all in a storage container down the road. And it's just full of racks. And
but we've got our central heat and air fighting the heat from the racks. The humidity's all over the place. So I honestly think it's going to be way better for the health of our collection to get out of the house and into that building. So.
Yeah, especially fighting this time of year where it's cold in the morning, it's hot in the afternoon here in Tennessee. So I'm like back there flipping switches and, cranking stuff up and like turning the heat back on, turn the heat off, turn the air conditioner on, turn the heat on. It's all day long me managing that. And I know we won't have to deal with that as much. And I'm trying to keep the temperatures correct for each species too, since they are kind of all over the place. But we're looking forward to that. And then having a dedicated podcast area that has a good computer and Wi-Fi that's sufficient, and instead of us doodling around.
I think we found the right computer.
It's like,
we just got to retire the old one. You take it out.
I can't let it go. It's got this giant crack across it because I've dropped it like 10 times. The screen is smashed in, and I just can't. I need to let it. I
swear, man, I could hear them, I could see them. Everything was great, but they were like coming in choppy, and then I couldn't hear them, and I'm like, God, I can't hear you. I'm sorry, and Josh is like, all right, just switch the computers.
he's like, fire that computer up over there.
I'm like,
this is supposed to be my replacement computer that I have just not moved on to because I have a problem with transferring data over from one thing to the next. Like, even when we get new phones, it's like the biggest problem. And I have to give it to him to do to make it look the same as my old phone, because I can't let go of stuff like that. So
she's setting her ways.
A thumb drive.
Yeah.
I put everything on them.
I know.
She won't do it. She just won't do it.
As a matter of fact, I've got to take all of this from 2026. I already got to take and clear out my StreamYard storage again.
Yeah, I bet you do. I guess it gets piled up in
50 hours worth of whatever, and then you got to clear it out or delete it. I just put it on a thumb drive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's actually another part of the building facility upgrade. We're upgrading the networking for the house and the building, and we're going to incorporate a security system into that at the same time. Yeah. It's going to be so nice because we've cobbled things together too long, and it's time to invest in some of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like that blue one. What was it called? The morph again
Storm
on that?
Cloud.
Yeah,
Storm Cloud.
Storm Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's gonna look like in the future, but I'm gonna start putting my change away and start saving
Yeah.
up for something like that because that was
They're
pretty.
so cool, man. They're very, very cool. Literally one of our favorites. So
I call them neck breakers because people walk by our display and you see their head lock onto
like-
that
and they just
animal.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is
Dude,
that?
I
And
was
I get
sitting
it out.
here like
shortly.
trying to get the best angle to see that animal. I was like, dude, that I know the camera's sucking on the real actual color. What
the
this
color.
thing looks
Yeah, and I
like.
should have turned the light off on it then because you can't see the color. But we do have a couple of them, and I think we have a baby in Instagram. I can't remember. It's been a while, but they sold immediately. Actually, one oddly enough went to a pet home. $3,500 snake to a pet home, and she just couldn't stop thinking about him. She walked away from the table for like 2 minutes. She said, "I'll come back in a little bit." And we're like, "Yeah, whatever." You know, that goes. And she just turned
because
back
usually
around.
when people say they come back, they don't come
Whatever.
back.
And she turned around. She's like, I can't leave that snake here. He'll be sold. I said, well, his sister sold immediately, so I could imagine he's not far away from it, especially if the right breeder came around. And then we had 2 breeders come in later that afternoon, and they were like, "Where did your storm cloud go?" I said, "It went to a pet home." And they're like, "You've got to be freaking kidding me," because they were going to come back and buy it. I'm like, he was gone. He was our first sale that day, and I'm like, he wasn't staying for long, and he went to a pet home of all things, but. He was an absolutely
the beauty of that animal. Of course, it went to a pet home. Yeah. You know, I could probably sell some of these breeder quality animals to pet owners too.
Yeah.
But it's got to have that it factor, right? Like, why would you buy mine versus somebody else's? You got to have that it factor. Well, you got a neck breaker on your table, man. People are like, oh, hold on, babe, come back.
Yeah. You know, the other cool thing at the shows is like people walk up to the ball pythons and they're very like serious.
Yeah.
And they've like got this list in their mind, like I need this plus this male, da 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 da. People walk up to the hognose and they light up and they're like, oh, look, it's hognose. Like it's so cool to see.
Yeah. It's a whole different character when they walk up. Yeah. It's so funny.
That's so awesome.
Big Mike says vending shows, so we'll stay in it for a while for that alone.
That's good because I need to get something off y'all, man. I think I need to get me a hoggy and get into that.
Get you fixed up.
Yeah.
Big Mike does say appreciate you guys for coming on, and sorry he was still trying to get through traffic.
Get it, Mike.
Get it.
It's all right, Big Mike, dude. You over there taking care of your family, man. We love you for it.
Family first.
Yep.
My father always said, like, nobody needs a snake, but we all want one. So you got to remember where these rank in priority.
Yeah.
Dude, your dad was cool, man. I only got to meet him once, but like I've always told you, dude, he was always cool guy.
He loved it. He loved meeting people. He loved the animals. He loved teaching people. And so, I mean, we'd all walk away from
talking, but apparently he was teaching everybody the whole time.
Everybody something. Yeah. Everybody something. Always. Yeah.
Yep. He was a veterinarian and she was a vet or still a vet. So he was like teaching her the ropes, like showing her things. Yeah. And so it's pretty cool to carry that on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
We're on Instagram, Herpin Harbins. I probably answer that Instagram messaging the fastest, but we are on Facebook also, or info@herpinharbins.com. What else?
Our website's herpinharbins.com. Just type in Herpin Harbins, whatever platform you're on, that works.
Yeah, it'll always come up.
Yeah.
Are you wearing the shirt right now, Josh?
No, the
balls. Yeah, we're balls today. That's where the orange came from. The guys, we had baseball that we were watching.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Y'all mess with that.
Yeah, we love our HP, man. It keeps us in line.
So every time I see Zach Parpart, I'm like, I want one of the orange shirts. He goes, well, that's for employees only. I'm like, man, like, you've been with y'all a long time.
Man. Give him a Tennessee orange shirt.
I almost meant to steal it out from under his table at Tinley when he wasn't watching, but I was like, he'd probably catch me with it on at some point.
You could see it.
Yeah.
He was messing with me. It was so funny. You know how he's such a riot. I was in Tinley and I was just sexing something. I had a probe out and I was sexing it. And of course there's a crowd everywhere. And I heard this little high pitched voice. It's like, oh, snake over there. They're poking it in the butt. And I'm like, that's got to be Parpart doing that. What is he doing? And I was trying to concentrate and not stab this little thing. And he just
Sounded
kept
like
doing it.
Minnie
And I turned
Mouse,
around.
man.
Yeah, I turned around and there he is. Just like, you're such a turd.
He's a cornball. We love it.
He's hilarious. Making these high-pitched voices and saying crazy stuff.
Man, that's awesome. Well, we really do appreciate y'all's time tonight.
Thanks for having us on.
I really did get to learn something new tonight, so I appreciate that too from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And hopefully some homies here tonight learn something new about hognose snakes, man. Thank y'all so very much.
Thank you.
And we're going to end this without an intro or an outro. Don't know why it disappeared, but no, I guess we got to start all over again, homies.
Boy.
So we out.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.